virtual mission tour of this general session takes us to Toledo, Ohio, Glass City. And this is Dan Rogers, President and CEO of Cherry Street Mission. Dan, it's raining today. We can't look at this building, which, by the way, is one of 16 facilities you have in the city.
Right, Cherry Street operates.
So let's see what it looks like via drone. Then tell us what we're looking at here.
For sure. So this is a 242,000 square foot building built as a vocational school. This is Cherry Street's Life Revitalization Center. Here, we absolutely have developed an ecosystem where people can get better from welding to academics to a high school diploma and everything in between.
So this is the heartbeat of Cherry Street Mission. Let's walk over here and take a look at Mack Street Cafe, which I find fascinating because there's so much that goes on here different than what I normally would see in a typical mission.
Yes.
Like you were telling me that when people walk through the door, and there's a bunch of them coming in now, they will come to this desk where they're immediately enrolled in something that goes on here.
Yeah, automatic enrollment, right? On the minute one that you walk in here, you get enrolled in our Ready for Life program. You are distributed a card that looks exactly like this, right? It's got your photo ID on it. There's a SKU card there. We will front load this with 5 days worth of service here at John, and because we know that's how long it takes you to go through our assessments.
So if I want something to eat, I don't actually pay cash, but I do pay for it from what I'm learning in the classes that you're teaching.
Absolutely correct. This system that we're using is cloud-based, so that means that every time you go to class, your instructor is going to front load the points for that class onto your card.
Fascinating.
You go to any of our points of service and you exchange the wealth you put on your life for the service you're receiving.
Okay, we picked up Joel Scuddy on the tour, Senior Vice President of Ministry Development. And if I understand, so people come in, they can go through the line over there where they get their card. They sit down, have a meal, have a conversational specialist come and talk to them about Christ and their journey. And then they're invited over here for an assessment. What does this do for them?
Now, during the assessment process, we work through about 100 questions, getting to know the person in front of us, really finding out what makes someone tick, right? Where they're coming from and what they're bringing to the table. After they get done here, the alerts are set. We're able, every time they sign in with their card, to remind them, hey, you have an orientation coming next, and that's that place where they can get connected to the ministry.
All right, here we are in the kitchen, hairnuts and all. It looks very nice, by the way.
You know, so do you.
Thanks. But this is one of the largest kitchens I've seen in a mission. How many square feet of kitchen spaces are here?
There's about 30,000 square feet of commercial kitchen space here.
Wow. And you feed people in the Mack Street Cafe, but you use this for all other purposes.
Yeah. So this side of the kitchen is our scratch kitchen completely. So here we produce from scratch 1,000 meals a day that go straight out into the cafe.
But you do also feeding throughout the city.
We do. So our commercial side with our partnership Connecting Kids to Meals, we do another 7,000 meals, go to 120 food sites in the region.
So Dan, you've taken this idea of a trade school to a whole new level because you have 2 colleges under your roof. How did that happen?
Yeah, so we just thought if it's happening somewhere in the city, our covenant together is we do not reproduce it. So if it's happening, we invite it instead of reproducing it.
So automotive training is something that wasn't happening. Right. So what are we looking at here in this classroom?
So, what you're looking at is, again, an ASC certified school. But we started this school, John, because auto dealers and manufacturers and people in the auto business were telling us we could not find enough technicians. We knew in Central City we could actually recreate in Center City adult education for auto tech.
Well, I haven't seen too many milling machines in missions before, but you certainly have plenty of them here. Dan, and you're joined with Steve Robinson from the local community college.
Absolutely.
Tell us what goes on in here.
Well, this is a tool and die and welding shop. We knew that as we got into trades, this would be 2 of the primary schools that we needed to offer. Steve and his team stepped in tremendously and helped us get this fired up.
Yeah, our partnership with Cherry Street Mission really so far is focused on basic machining and welding, which are very important in-demand career choices that folks have here. We want to inject skills into the area so people can move on and earn family-sustaining wages. So our partnership with Cherry Street Mission is vital for serving a really important part of our community.
So now we've ended up in Cherry Street's call center training lab. I haven't seen these in a mission anywhere. What do you do here?
No, and I doubt that you would. We believe this is one of the first in the country, John, where we've invited a college to come in and say, hey, we need people entering into the call center world with a certificate. Tammy Norris has been our key partner of that from Northwest State Community College. Tammy, help us understand what we're doing here.
Sure. It's a great partnership to have with Cherry Street. We have worked with area employers to identify the needs of what they're looking for in entry-level employees for various call centers, and then build a curriculum around that. So the students come here for a 9-week period, and they're trained on a variety of entry-level skills, including simulations, and then we set them loose on the world with some lovely wraparound skills, too.
Be kind to that person who calls you during dinner. It might be somebody who was trained at Cherry Street. So we've ended the tour back here in your office, Dan, and we've been joined by Ann, Senior Vice President of Strategic Alignment. Dan, I'm guessing Cherry Street mission didn't look like this 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What's changed in not just property, but your philosophy?
Well, you know, John, we had just become, like most rescue missions, just best in class, right? I mean, 17 facilities, 9 different neighborhoods, A to Z, curb level work. But you know what, man, we were empty. We were empty just in a way that we believed the gospel had more to offer for people beyond service, beyond food, beyond clothing, beyond shelter. We believe the gospel actually has a logic model associated with it. And that if, in fact, the gospel could take hold in the life of a human being, that the net gain of that action with God in your life would not only mean that you're changed and transformed, but that your life and the totality of your life was completely now autonomous in your soul, in your spirit, and in all of your relationships.
What's Cherry Street going to look like in 2 years?
Well, I think the really cool answer to that, John, is it looks very much, but much more sophisticated than you saw today. The reality is that we believe that God doesn't add. Like, we don't see the Life Revitalization Center as an addition to Cherry Street services. We see the Life Revitalization Center as a new frontier that actually replaces those services of nearly 7 decades. And we just believe that as you, as a rescue mission leader, think about that new frontier, it may not end in the purchase of a high school, but trust me, it'll end in this whole idea of net gain with the gospel, right? Not only can a person be changed and transformed in their lifetime, but that transformation can lead to redemption, whole life, whole family, whole relationships, and that person is absolutely autonomous in the way that God designed and made them to be.
Very good. Well, it's been a privilege to hang out with you and see Toledo and see what you're doing here. So thanks for the good work, and back to the general session.